I welcome you all to sixth lecture of Unit 5 Primary Manufacturing Process. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the extrusion process and different types of extrusion process. So first of all, we need to know that what is extrusion process. So extrusion is a bulk forming process in which work metal is forced or compressed to flow through a die hole to produce a desired cross section shape. Example: squeezing toothpaste from a toothpaste tube. So this is a basic, very crude example of extrusion process. So what we do in extrusion process, we have a metallic form of billet, and we used to keep it inside a die, and we apply force from one side, and we provide a passage from the other side. So when we apply force from one side, the material moves from the other side of the die, and in this way we can obtain the desired shape and desired surface texture over the extruded part. So this is basically used in a variety of processes for making tube and rods. So these are the advantages of this extrusion process. Variety of are possible, especially using hot extrusion process. Grain structure strength properties are enhanced in cold and warm extrusion. I've told you that in cold working, the working region in plastic region, and that's why the strength enhances in case of cold working. Close tolerances are possible in case of cold extrusion. In case of hot extrusion, the deformation takes place easily, and dimensional accuracy is very to maintain dimensional accuracy is difficult. That's why close tolerance can be obtained only in cold extrusion. So these are the two types of extrusion process that we basically use: direct or forward extrusion and indirect or backward extrusion. So in case of direct extrusion, the force direction and the movement of the billet material is in same direction, that is the direct extrusion. We will see in the further slides. The metal billet is first loaded into a container having die holes. A ram presses. Ram is the component with the help of which apply load compresses the material, forcing it to flow through the die holes. And we can see the die in this diagram. So this is the die. This is the shape that we need to form from this work billet, and this is the container. This is the load, and this is the ram, and over this ram we apply load. So in direct extrusion, we can say the direction of load and the direction of material movement is the same. This is what direct extrusion is, and significant amount of friction is there because we have motion of the material with respect to container. That's why we have a significant amount of friction here. As the billet forced to slide towards the die opening, because of presence of friction, a substantial increase in the ram force is required. Because to overcome this friction, we need to apply load. So friction is present here. In case of direct hot extrusion, what happened? The oxide layers form, because we know at high temperature oxide layers forms over the material, over the metal component. So to avoid this oxide layer of the that is formed over the surface, we use a kind of component between the billet and this ram, and the size of this component should be slightly lower as compared to the diameter of this ram, or you can say the diameter of this work billet. So what happened when we apply load and we put a component between ram and material, the metal will flow, and the surface component, very thin surface layer, will remain inside the container, and that will not come out over this workpiece. In this way, we can avoid the oxide layer that is undesirable in hot extrusion process. So this is what explained here. In order to address this problem, a dummy block is used between the ram and work billet. The diameter of dummy block is kept slightly smaller. I told you it is kept slightly smaller to avoid the oxide layer to come out from this region. So this is the direct extrusion. Now in direct extrusion, we can also make hollow surfaces and hollow shapes. For making hollow shape, we use a mandrel here. You can see the component, the work billet is here, and we apply load. And the die opening, we can see the die opening is an annular form, and from this space, the material can come out, and the hollow region can be formed with the help of mandrel. So there is a very slight difference between the normal extrusion and this extrusion for hollow shapes. We simply use an madrel in between over this ram. We use a normal madrel, or you can say between the die we use a madrel. So by using this madrel, we can control the thickness of this hollow shapes. Now the indirect extrusion. In this type, the die mounted on the ram. What happened here? The die is mounted on the container. But in case of indirect extrusion, the die is mounted on the ram, and the direction of load and the direction of workflow is opposite in nature. We will see in the further slide. So in next slide we can see this is the example of indirect extrusion. Here what happened, this is where we are applying load, and this is the workpiece, and the die is over the ram only. In case of direct extrusion, we had a die over the container, and the flow of force flow direction of force and flow of material was same. But in case of indirect extrusion, the direction of force and the directional flow of this material is opposite in nature. We are applying force in positive x direction, but material coming out in negative direction. So that's why it is called indirect extrusion. And here you can see the relative motion between work material and this container is negligible as compared to, you say, direct extrusion. So the force required for this the indirect extrusion is less as compared to direct extrusion. Now the die material which we use in extrusion processes, for hot extrusion we use tool and alloy steels. Important properties of die material are high wear resistance, high thermal conductivity to remove heat from the processes. For cold extrusion, basically use steels and cemented carbides. Carbides are very used for high durability purpose, and the production rate of cemented carbides are also very high, and the life of the cemented tools are very high as compared to normal high speed steels. Now, there are further more operations in extrusion processes that we use in industry. So, first one is impact extrusion. In extrusion, we apply load on the basis of impact, and in case of direct and indirect extrusion that we have seen in the previous slides, we apply load gradually. But in case of impact extrusion, we apply load in form of impact. So it is performed at higher speed and shorter strokes, and the productivity is very high in case of impact extrusion because the time is very less for providing an impact. The second one is hydrostatic extrusion. Extrusion, you can correlate this thing. In case of normal extrusion process, we have this container, and inside the container, the work billet is there. But in case of hydraulic extrusion, we have some kind of fluid between the ram and the work billet. So by using this fluid, we can reduce the contact surface, or we can eliminate the contact surface between work billet and the container, and thus we can also reduce the friction. And that's why in case of hydraulic extrusion, the force required is less, and also if the material is brittle and less ductile, then we can choose this hydrostatic extrusion process. So there is no friction, as I discussed. Hydrostatic pressure on the work and no friction situation increase the material ductility, right? Hence this process can be used on metals, and that would be too brittle for conventional extrusion methods. The process is also applicable for ductile material. It can be used for ductile materials also. Now the defects that occurs in extrusion process. The first one is center burst. Center burst, what happened when we apply load on a work material, the work comes out at the large material motion at the outer region pulls the material along the center of the work, and that's why this crack happens, and this is called the center burst. Now the piping effect, it is the formation of shrink hole at the end of the billet, and this can be minimized by using a dummy block, which I discussed earlier. And the surface cracking is basically occurs if you are using extrusion process at high speed and high temperature. So this problem can occur. To eliminate this problem, we can reduce the temperature, and we can reduce the speed of extrusion. So till now we have covered the extrusion process, and in next lecture we will start with the other forming operations. Thank you.